the most recent Teaching and Learning Conference, where it's always really wonderful to meet colleagues across the Enlight Rise project and really, I suppose, connect on so many different areas of interest. So I have a few slides where I'm hoping to share with you a little bit about the work we do here at the University of Galway in relation to community engagement. And I suppose I'm going to focus in on our community-based learning, our service learning modules, and give you a little flavour of those, and then focus even further down to one specific module that we have been working with this year across an international project with local community groups here in Galway. And we've learned a lot from this particular service learning module, and so hopefully in sharing some of our experiences you might also be interested in commenting. Please do use the comment box there, or indeed when I complete the slides I'll pop off and we'll have our mics on, and if people are happy to share their experiences or further questions, and we can really have a rich discussion. So over now to a few slides where I hope to share with you a little bit of a background around our program here at the University of Galway. So I'm going to begin by introducing, I suppose, myself, and my email is lorraine.tansey@universityofgalway.ie. If you'd like to follow up, please do. I'm based at the Office for the Vice President for Engagement here at the unit in our university known as the CKI, or the Community Knowledge Initiative. And we were funded here at the university to really build a culture of civic engagement and within higher education in Ireland, and to really, I suppose, embed that idea of the civic purpose of the university, that as a publicly funded institution we have a responsibility to ensure that our students and our staff have the opportunity to connect with social issues, causes, important, I suppose, impact within both our local and national and international communities. And we've been inspired really by the President of Ireland, Michael D. Higgins, who, as a former academic here within the University of Galway, is quoted as saying, universities are both a part from and a part of society. They're a part in a sense that they provide a critically important space for grasping the world as it is, and importantly for reimagining the world as it ought to be. But also, universities are part of societies, and what's the point unless the accumulated knowledge, insight and vision are put at the service of the community? And with the privilege to pursue knowledge comes the civic responsibility to engage and put that knowledge to work in the service of humanity. And so our President of Ireland, Michael D. Higgins, really so articulate there really in his understanding of a university's role within its communities. And if we think here and about our physicality for a moment, I don't know if there's any geographers on the call. Maybe you're getting excited to see an aerial map of our campus. This is our main city centre campus here in Galway. We're located, as you can see, at the foot of a very large lake. In fact, it's Lough Corrib is the largest body of water in the Republic of Ireland. It's the largest lake, and it feeds down into our city centre through the River Corrib, and the university is located along that river bank, right into the city itself. And we're located right beside major infrastructural parts of the city, including our university hospital, which is accompanied also by our university's connection to the city centre, which is right down into the city itself. So we are located within the city, but also separated by these bodies of water. And really, we see that separation very physically in Galway when we have communities or pockets of our city that do not engage with the university, or will find that maybe generationally their families did not attend university. So there's that gap or that divide. And we often, as a community, reflect on that and take action to really ensure that accessibility is a huge priority to us. And so those physical walls that we have, and if you see a part of that red line that demarcates the campus boundary, part of that is a traditional wall that was built at the origins of the university over 170 years ago. And we work very hard to permeate those physical walls with our local communities and ensure that those that are in close proximity to us do feel that connection to our campus. And we have to do very practical partnerships in order to facilitate that accessibility. And I suppose if we look to some of the reasons why as a university we're interested in doing this work, we look to a colleague, Josephine Boland, her research, where she really focused in on why as a university we might be concerned with connecting with our communities. And the rationale there really being about having a strategic commitment to our area and building up a resource, that the university is a resource for the community. We see these opportunities of engagement as maturing opportunities for our students, and our academics have a strong belief in experiential learning and that hands-on opportunity for engaging with real life issues or problem-based learning, community-based learning. And really, I suppose at the time of this research, we um, reflected or noticed this drift from public to private domain and this concern of the privatization of spaces, and really needing to ensure that accessibility is a key priority. When we look to others who have worked in this area, and scholars who have reflected on this type of work, and we've published alongside some of these scholars, there are different terms, of course, that refer to this type of work. This idea of engaged scholarship in the UK, this idea of public engagement, very strong. And I suppose within our context here in Ireland, we use this term civic engagement as a way of describing this work. And thank you for bearing with the slides. It looks like a little bit of the text has jumped around when I uploaded it here to Blackboard Collaborate. So within our office here in the CKI, that actually really emerges as some very practical and tangible projects. So we run essentially 4 aspects to our work. The first is community engaged research. The next is community partnerships. Next is community-based learning or service learning. And finally, we engage in student volunteering. And really by responding to community needs here in the CKI, we are listening to what community says to the university, and through those engaged research, through engaged learning projects, through volunteering, those partnerships and projects hopefully respond to a need that community has identified and is responding in a way that is appropriate to what the community needs. So in some of the images here, I have examples. You'll see 2 small people here with little parchments in their hands, rolled up scrolls and caps. And this is really a project that was developed here at the CKI as a result of secondary schools and primary schools approaching the university and asking for the university to respond to a need that they identified within children and young people in the city of Galway. And that was to provide educational opportunities for particular young people to thrive academically. And so we created what's known as the Youth Academy, and young people visit our campus on a Saturday morning where they participate in educational programs, and we focus in on young people who potentially are from marginalised or minority groups and ensure that the university is open to them. We have this other logo here known as the glossary, and this came as a result, as a call really from community organisations to develop projects for the circular economy on campus. So local community groups identified that community centres, families needed resources like kitchen supplies or food or homeware supplies. And we have students who are moving out of student accommodation every 3 months. And we started the Glossary project to ensure that those donations, those materials can go from students to community partners, local charity shops, to local family support groups and community centres. So overall, the CKI responds to the needs that come from community, and we really try to align them either to a research need, a teaching and learning need, a partnership that we can coordinate or collaborate on, or a volunteering project. And this keeps us all very busy. In particular, our volunteering program is really the main gateway that so many of our students and our academics connect in with our community partners across the city. So for example, our volunteering fairs, which we hold twice an academic year, our community partners are visiting the campus, setting up their stalls, and really, I suppose, showcasing all the ways in which they are keen to connect with the university community, whether that's our students or our staff. And we have an online website as well, which enables our community partners to showcase projects that they've designed and to really, I suppose, profile them on the website throughout the year. And our academics can then see those projects that maybe a community partner has said would suit a volunteer. But then once we get the conversation started with the organisation, those volunteer projects can often develop into service learning or community-based learning projects. And there can be longer, more sustained partnerships then with those community partners. So often our local charities, NGOs, social enterprises, they connect with the university through those channels, through those avenues, like a showcase day, the volunteering fair, or our student volunteering website, to really articulate their projects that they have, and then we can work with them to further grow and develop those partnership projects. And I've got a lovely little poster there as well that highlights that we recognise our campus really celebrates community university partnerships, and every year the president of our university has a very glamorous award ceremony where our community partners visit the campus and they're thanked for hosting students in learning opportunities, and that can be for volunteering projects or community-based learning projects. In terms of our community partners, when they've identified a research need they have, really they can connect in with the CKI, where we can match those research needs that they have to an academic who might be able to support that research project and develop it through to a full research project. And if you'd like to connect on some of those research aspects, do please follow up. And we rolled out our work here at the University of Galway nationally across Ireland through a national network known as Campus Engage. And through Campus Engage, we're able to connect with community groups across Ireland and our fellow colleagues in academia across Ireland who are interested in supporting university community partnerships that are very meaningful. And that work really has been important for us to gain national recognition of the importance of the role that the university has in community. We really love to celebrate university community partnerships, and we've developed the Civic Engagement Scholarship here. So we have students who choose to come and study at our university because they can connect in with community as a part of their degree. And so we find, just as our campus has sports scholarships and has drama scholarships, that we can attract those students who are interested in community engagement, in social impact. They want to study here, and they can really demonstrate their commitment to community and in particular to volunteering, for example, as a way of showcasing that they are very serious about a degree that has a civic mission, if you like. So in relation then to some of this particular module that we are working through this semester that might be of great interest to you, we have linked up with partners in Spain and in Italy. So we have two partners where we're working through a specialized module, and it's service learning module for the inclusion of migrants, refugee, international protection applicants. And really, I suppose this project is focusing on the power of that methodology, service learning or community-based learning, as a way to incorporate into the classroom understandings around migration and movement. And our partners are the University of Santiago de Compostela and the University of Verona. And we are working with a number of community organisations in Spain and in Italy and here in Ireland. And our two partners in Ireland for this are the GoCom Community Migrant Radio Station. So this is a social enterprise here in Galway. It's made up of individuals who are from minority ethnic groups, migrant groups who are new to Galway, and they really established the need for a radio station that was responsive to the needs of their community. And it originated at the time of COVID, when there was a strong feeling that information in relation to urgent health updates needed to be communicated as quickly and as efficiently as possible. So individuals in the community identified that need and established GoCom Radio in order to be able to, through multiple languages, communicate updates quickly and efficiently. And really from there, the GoCom Radio station has grown and grown and developed, and they're an excellent partner with us on this service learning module. Our second partner is with our new Ukrainian communities here in Galway, and we have individuals who are Ukrainian support workers within the Galway City Council, and their connection with this module is through an initiative known as the LIFT Leadership Model. And so this is a program in Ireland where individuals can, in a small group, develop their leadership skills. So our students within this service learning module are trained in the LIFT leadership program. They're trained to be facilitators of the LIFT leadership model, and they meet with members of the Ukrainian community in order to deliver that leadership training and program within that community. And our students in the module then with the GoCom radio station, when we listened to the needs that the GoCom community radio station needed, the students crafted a project that responded to their need of really, I suppose, increasing listenership and really marketing or promoting GoCom Radio to further businesses across Galway City. So just now, actually, as I'm on this call, there are a group of students within our service learning module who are meeting with a local business here in Galway that has over 800 employees here in Galway. And by meeting with this company and sharing GoCom Radio and helping to market and promote the radio station with that company, they're really supporting that radio station to reach even further individuals across the city. So these are our community partners in this service learning module. The curriculum or the academic program within the module is focused on anti-racism, inclusion, and really, I suppose, supporting students to understand how community projects through service learning work. What does it look like to really listen to a community partner, to understand what their needs are, and then to deliver a project in partnership with them that is of meaning and of value to that community. And so within the module, we have students who are studying business, we have students studying hotel management, we have students studying science. So it's a multidisciplinary module where students from across the university can opt to take this module. There's about 50% of the module visiting or Erasmus students. So we might have students from your campus, for example, who are taking this module this semester. And overall, there's about 25 students in the module. And that allows us to ensure that community partners do not get overwhelmed and have too many students that they are responsible for in the partnership project, that it's really manageable in terms of their contact time. And we're very conscious of ensuring that we do not overload our community partners in terms of their partnership with the university. In terms of assessment then, the students have 4 parts of their assessment to complete. The first is they will make a presentation on their projects, and this is extremely important, we find, for students because they're working in small groups with their community partners. Working together on making a presentation really means that each member of the group has an opportunity to speak or to articulate, and we can really hear the student's voice in this partnership project. And we give them a template so that as a group they have the slide template to work from, and they can really divide up the work and make the presentation together without necessarily having to worry or focus too much on the structure of the presentation. We provide that for them. Likewise, in terms of assessment for this module, there's a reflection component, and students are supported to complete 3 reflections. And again, we give them a very strict template in relation to what they are reflecting on and what we would like to see as a reflection output. And really, we spend at least 1 to 2 of our class time pieces together, focusing on what a strong reflection looks like, and really articulating with students to move beyond mere description and to go deeper into the root issues and questioning and critical thinking that we really would like to see coming through in a academic piece of work. The next assessment is that each student within their group developed their service learning project plan, and that requires the students to work on a code of conduct whereby they work together to establish how they will work with their community partner and what some of those parameters will look like throughout the semester. How many times will they meet with their partner? What aims and objectives they have? What does a project outcome look like within this example? And again, we provide a template for them to ensure that they are prompted in their discussion as a group to reflect and include the information that will be of value to them in their project plan. Their final assessment is an academic paper with references, and this requires the students to really think about what we have given them in terms of reading. So there's a very strong reading list attached to each week that the students are asked to complete their seminar reading, and to really, I suppose, draw on those academic pieces within the final academic paper, where they'll pull together, again through a structured, uh, prompted paper, their understandings of both the curriculum around anti-racism and inclusion, and the experiences of migration, and why does migration happen, and what does it mean to be an international protection applicant, and what is the detail of that, and to really reflect on that vis-a-vis what they have experienced working with migrant communities directly in Galway. And that's an example of the GoCom Radio's advertisement for their new radio station that they developed. And I think that's been one of the biggest learnings that we've had in this module with the community partner, is that they, of course, will have things change for them in their experiences, and they don't necessarily always have the capacity to be strong partners with a university at all times throughout a semester. And really, we've had to ensure and be mindful that we are conscious of their time and their capacity at a time of change. So in this case, GoCom Radio, we're launching a new radio station in County Galway, so in a rural setting outside of Galway city centre. And so we had to think about students travelling to get to visit this radio station, which was an important part of the project, and ensuring that transportation was available for the students. As a result of this module, we are hosting an event next week. And if you would like to learn more about this particular module that we've been working on, or perhaps you'd like to see what the projects at the University of Verona and at the University of Santiago de Compostela, their service learning modules with their migrant and refugee communities. They'll be showcasing these next week, and I will stick the link for this event in our chat. It's on Eventbrite, so you're most welcome to come along, and it'll be on Zoom. You can listen in and see the presentations from Galway, Italy and Spain in relation to service learning modules that require students to be engaging with new communities, marginalised minority groups and ethnic groups, and really, I suppose, the root issues of migration and how they have addressed the needs that are identified by that community group within their course modules. So in summary, if you would like to learn a little bit more about any of our community-based learning or service learning modules, we do showcase them on our website, universityofgalway.ie/community engagement, and we have both undergraduate and postgraduate service learning modules. In particular, maybe of interest to you all, is our School of Languages have developed a module whereby students create picture books, and they are done in partnership with communities that speak different languages. And for example, one picture book that was created last year was called I Speak Ukrainian, again with the Ukrainian community here in Galway. And that book was translated into many languages and distributed to schools across Galway and the west of Ireland, really, and is available for purchase in bookshops across Ireland. And our students who are studying languages really use this idea of the picture book as a way or a medium for language acquisition. Another example of a service learning or community-based learning module that might be of interest is our Children's Studies degree programme has a module with a local NGO known as the Galway Autism Partnership, where our students are trained to participate in swimming and water therapy with children who have autism, and our students, as part of that module, visit a local swimming pool, where they are fully trained to assist the professional autism provision, where they have water therapy for the children. So our students are really gaining an insight into the experiences of young people with autism, and really kind of, I suppose, a resource there in relation to their health and well-being in relation to water therapy. Another example and final example is our second year civil engineering students. Again, you can see the course outlines on our website for this course. The module is an opportunity for civil engineering students to carry out a needs analysis identified with a community partner for a particular resource in the community. So for example, our engineering students might work with a community park who have identified an area that is experiencing flooding and needs an intervention, that the students mock up and design an intervention that might actually alleviate that issue for that community park, for example. So our engineering students are listening to community, what their needs are, doing physical walkthroughs of locations, whether that be a community centre that decides it needs a specialised ramp for access, for example. And then our students are getting the opportunity as engineers to go away, create reports and models, and then feed those back to community, address them, tweak them, listen again, that ideation or iteration process where they're really listening to the needs of community. So in summary, do check out the service learning modules on our website, and thank you so much for your attention. It's Lorraine.Tansey at the University of Galway.ie, and as I say, I'm going to hop over now to the chat where I hope there might be some questions or we can have a discussion. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Lorraine. So I would like to give the floor to the audience if there's any questions.
Great. And I realize that sometimes I am chatting so quickly there. Hopefully it was, yeah.
Sylvia.
Yeah, hello. Thank you very much for interesting presentation. Maybe you said it at the beginning, I'm not sure, but at which faculty or you probably call them schools, at which schools are these community-based learning modules? Are there, or are they not connected to any of the schools? How is that?
Yes. So I'm based in a centralized unit, the Vice President for Engagement office. So I work across all the disciplines in the university, and I connect with academics then who within their discipline would like to develop a community-based or service learning module. So for example, the engineering colleagues in the School of Engineering, as academics, they decided that their second year students had the capacity and would benefit from a community-based learning partnership, and we would work with those academics then to design the curriculum, the assessment, and to support them in finding community partners to partner for their students. Yeah, so we would do these across 40 different disciplines in the university.
Great. And how many is there of you in in your office? How
It's
many
a great
people are there?
question. Yeah. So when we're a full team, there are 5 of us. So we, I suppose, divide and conquer, as I mentioned, in relation to our thematic areas. So we have one staff member who focuses on student volunteering, another on community-based learning, another on community-based research, and another on community partnerships. And I suppose the beauty of us each having our specific area, but also coming together, means that often a charity will approach the university. A charity will approach the university with with an idea, and they might say, "I have this idea," and then we can kind of work with them around. "Ooh, it sounds like it's actually more of a community-based learning opportunity," or "That sounds actually more like a volunteering project," or more of a research project. So we can really respond to what's coming from community.
Perfect, thank you. And my last question, I promise. How many ECTS
Yes.
are awarded for the module?
Yes. So each of those modules, service learning modules, it varies hugely. Some are 5, some are 10. For the one that I outlined there in relation to working with migrant and new communities, it's a 15 ECTs.
Oh, 15. Okay. Okay.
So it's
Thank
a
you
full
very much.
semester. Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Thanks.
Thank you.
Sean.
Thank you for that. Again, Lorraine, Sean McCall, Ulster University.
Hi, Sean.
Again, even though I'm based at Ulster University, I'm actually ringing on here from Donegal, so I'm not a mighty miles away from Galway. But again, it's just Lorraine, more of an introduction and an observation. That I mean, I think the work you're doing at Galway is unbelievable there in terms of community engagement and whatnot as well. Personally, I didn't realise there was so much going on at a local level. But I suppose the thing I was going to ask, Lorraine, if you're happy enough, there's colleagues of mine who are working quite closely with migrants and refugees out in Northern Ireland. They're always looking to learn and see what best practices. If you were happy enough for me to pass on those details to our crew there, there might be some sort of sharing for best practice, some stuff we're doing and some stuff you're doing, because I think some of the issues we're having north and south are quite similar. So if you're happy enough for me to forward on details, I'd be much appreciated.
That would be brilliant, Sean, absolutely. And I suppose one of the things that we're very excited about here is nationally the growth of universities that are working with new communities and this status that you can achieve, which is called Universities of Sanctuary. And to achieve that status as a university community, you decide to put in place a number of different access routes, we'll say, for example, like scholarships or summer schools, and I suppose responding within that framework gives you the backup of a national body, and so that might be of value to your colleagues there to, you know, to say, look, this is the movement that's supporting this type of work, and you know, it kind of is that backup that we might need
that sounds great. And I find more structure too, rather than just ad hoc or
make the invisible visible and really call attention to it. And absolutely great.
No, thank you, much appreciated.
David.
Hello. Hold on. I think I'm almost there. Okay. Thank you very much, and well, congratulations, because you have a really big team there. I'm from the University of the Basque Country, and maybe I missed at the beginning, but I was interested in how do you channel community needs? I mean, like how does it function, or what channels do you have to get? Because I was very much interested in that.
Yes. So we probably have two strong methods, and then we have 3 or 4 other methods that maybe are not as strong. The first 2 methods I think that were so strong was having our volunteering fair. So having a day where all of the community partners are welcomed to the university to set up their stand and to engage with students. And in particular, we find the community groups, the language of volunteering is more accessible for them. They can really identify, okay, yes, potentially I could host a volunteer, or I can see where volunteers can contribute. But then when they're here, we start saying, well, you know, they could possibly get involved as a course project. They could take this to a richer space with an academic coordinator and a partnership. And so that first instance of coming through the fair, they come back twice a year, every year. They're all so enthusiastic and they love being invited to the university. Little things like feeding them, parking, the logistics. But then when they're here, then having those interactions with them. So it's a very important showcase day. The follow-up is the online database. So the online database is studentvolunteer.ie, where community groups can post their projects. And we find that they might, a month after the fair, say, oh, you know what, I actually have something. I thought of something that potentially is an opportunity. So by articulating it out onto the website parameters, we're drawing out from them some specifics. What is it that you need? When? Is there a particular goal that you have? Because to helping them to articulate or to draw out those key terms has been really powerful. And then we connect and map them back in here then to the institution. So for example, we had a group that were focused on biodiversity in woodlands. And so we connected to our teams here in geography, and anything that we see coming through from them, like a conference, we forward it onto the organization and say, turns out they're hosting a conference on the woodlands. So it's really being that bridge and making the organic meetings then happen. The third thing is having a steady email address. We have a standard email address into the university so that they don't just know, they're like, where do I, you know, that literally that email address has been a way for them to just throw everything into us as a doorway to connect in. It's more ambitious, the next piece, if you can, but we came together with colleagues and we actually built a building on campus, and it's a community focused building. So it's known as the Institute for Life Course and Society. So every researcher, academic in this building, I'm looking around at the courtyard here, is outward focused. So it's a building that the research is for youth, it's for gerontology, it's for human rights, it's for people with disabilities. So it's about being, as a building, a physical space that can host community as well.
Oh, thank you. It's great.
Yeah.
I mean, we are far from there, but good to see. Thank you.
Thanks, David. And with small steps, we got there. So,
Yeah.
you know, yeah.
Yeah, it's impressive. So one of the things that we always struggle with is like the expectations that communities have. So if they're coming to this market and they have all these ideas, and then maybe there are no students, or the students deliver maybe bad quality, or so how do you deal with that? How do you make sure that there's a follow-up if somebody posts something on your website, or how do you manage the process with the individual researchers working with the communities? Because if one of the researchers of the university slips up, it will reflect on the others. So how can you do this even with 5 people in an office?
Yeah, it's such a great point. And I suppose, for example, in this particular service learning module, for example, we established with the Ukrainian support workers that the students would deliver 4 thematic areas of the leadership program, and you know, that it would carry out over 4 weeks. After, I think, week 2, they were saying, we want more, 4 is not enough, we love this, we've only had 2 so far, we want 6, we want 8. And so it's this conversation around, I hear you absolutely, and the students have exams in December, right? So it's actually physically not possible for them to continue to deliver. And so I think setting those expectations very early on around, we agreed to 4 sessions. That's wonderful that the appetite is there. Why don't we look to a module maybe in January whereby we could continue the process there? So absolutely articulation at very early stages of capacity, and it can often come down to even just those practicalities of the calendar about what's available. But managing expectations is a huge aspect of this. I think it's a big challenge.
Yeah, I can echo that. And about volunteering, so here in Groningen we have student associations that do a lot of voluntary work. Do you have them as well in Galway, and how's the relationship with those organizations?
Yes, so last year they estimated that our student societies raised over 300,000 euros in fundraising with their community partners, and that's just that aspect. When we think about what they gave in relation to their time to other projects, it's phenomenal. So for example, our medical students in one of their student societies, they run a teddy bear hospital, and children from local targeted schools come to the university with their teddy bear for treatment. And this is about, of course, language acquisition and comfort in relation to understanding, meeting a medical profession and having a positive interaction. And of course, our students learning about how to interact with a 5, 6, 7-year-old and their language. And when we look at the impact of our student societies, it's absolutely phenomenal. And we do have a dedicated staff office who just 5, 6 staff members on that team just focus on student-led community interactions. And again, expectations are a huge aspect, because we will have charities who potentially want a fundraiser, for example, every week, and students will have to negotiate and manage that. That's not actually possible, and what can be achieved within the academic timeline. So we provide training to students around their role in their committee. So if they are the community liaison coordinator within their society, they have to attend that training in relation to managing expectations, how they run events, event management, health and safety, all of those aspects to running a very successful student community entity.
Okay, great. I've got a few more questions, but maybe there's somebody else who wants to drop in a question.
And I did pop that link for next week if people would like to listen to some more service learning examples from Italy and Spain. They're so welcome online for that.
Yeah. Yeah, so I saw that you also organized this CKI seminar series, and is this a kind of a training also for researchers? Because we're starting to develop trainings for our researchers to be better in this community engaged work. So what do you do in these series?
Yes. Yeah, so the series does have some material in relation to research, but it's also for our academics who want to develop the modules and understand maybe the assessment components and where the curricular piece meets the community partnership piece. But also the seminar series is an opportunity for that community voice again, so they can come and share ways in which they've interacted with the university, what potential opportunities they see coming, that they would like to work with the university on. I suppose in relation specifically to community-based research methodology, we actually developed a module in our structured PhD program. And students who are undertaking their PhD program can take that optional module, which is, I suppose, a more intensive opportunity for them to understand the community-based research methodology from that research question design with community right through to the analysis of the data, carrying out the data collection and discussion piece.
Okay, cool. And how intensive is that? Is it also measured in ECTS or?
Yes, yes. So all our PhD students here in Galway must complete a 2-year structured PhD program initially before they can even begin their thesis, correct? Where they have to do a module in relation to ethics and so on. So one of the optional modules is that methodology, community-based research methodology, and it's 15 ECTs.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Well, if not, I think we got a lot of information in a very short time. So, and that's what we hope these webinars will lead to. So we have recorded it. So there's apart from Lorraine, there were 3 other people on screen. So I will send them a consent form to ask if we can publish this on the public engagement website for those that could not join today. But thanks a lot, Lorraine, for sharing insights in your work, and thanks for everybody who was participating, and hope to see some of you again in the next webinar at the end of November on citizen science. So have a good day, and don't get blown away by all the wind that is starting to blow a bit more strongly now here. So stay safe.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you so much.